Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're digging into your sources to get a handle on the UK's shifting immigration policy, specifically how it's hitting international students. Our mission, really, is to pull out the key takeaways, maybe some surprising bits, and what these changes actually mean on the ground.
Absolutely. It's definitely a complex picture, but yeah, a really vital one to understand. I'm ready to get into the material you sent over.
Okay, great. So let's unpack this a bit. The sources talk about a big government white paper from May 2025, restoring control over the immigration system. What were the main changes in there for international students?
Right. So the paper laid out a few key things. First off, the graduate route visa, that's the permission to work after studying it, it's been shortened. For undergrads and master's grads, it's down from 24 months, so 2 years, to just 18 months now.
Okay, 18 months. What else?
Well, there's also this proposed levy, a kind of tax, on universities based on the money they made from international student fees. The idea, they say, is to reinvest that cash back into the UK education system somehow.
A levy. Interesting. Anything else, Major?
Yes, dependents. The rules are much tighter. Basically, only PhD students can bring family members with them now. And one more thing, the English language requirements have gone up for dependents too, both for students and workers' families. The government's stated aim for all this, to cut net migration figures and, make sure immigration aligns with the UK's goals economically and socially.
That definitely lays out the policy side. So let's get into the effects. How might all this change how attractive the UK is globally, especially, considering some unexpected data points?
Yeah, that's the crucial question. Traditionally, the UK is a big draw, right? Great unis, the post-study work was a pull factor. Shortening that graduate route, well, it obviously makes places like Canada or Australia, which often offer longer stays, look potentially more appealing.
Okay.
And that levy we mentioned, if unis pass that cost on, it could mean higher tuition fees, hitting affordability.
Makes sense.
But here's the really fascinating part. Despite these tougher policies, your sources show that student visa applications in early 2025 actually increased. Yeah, up by 29% compared to the same time in 2024.
Wow, 29%. That feels, well, it seems to go against the grain, doesn't it? Do the sources give any clues why that might be happening? Or could it just be, I don't know, a temporary thing before the policies really bite?
Exactly. It is counterintuitive.
Mm.
The sources float a couple of ideas. Maybe it's the lasting power of the UK's academic reputation, or perhaps some students saw it as a kind of last chance saloon, applying before rules get even tighter, or maybe before that levy kicks in properly.
Ah, okay.
And there's still just a huge global demand for high-quality education in English. Even if the post-study work part is less generous. It's definitely a complex mix. We really need to watch this space to see if that trend holds up.
Okay, so moving beyond just the application numbers themselves, what does this mean for the universities and I guess the wider UK economy? Why do these students matter so much?
Well, for universities, international students are incredibly important. It's not just about diversity on campus, though that's valuable. It's very much about the finances. Domestic student fees are capped, right? They often don't cover the real cost.
Right, I see.
So the higher fees from international students essentially cross-subsidize, helping to balance the books. A drop in numbers or this new levy taking a chunk of income could really squeeze university budgets. We might see courses cut, maybe staff reductions. It's a serious risk.
And the bigger picture, the economy.
Big impact there, too. Think about living expenses, rent, food, travel. International students spend a lot while they're here. That's a direct injection into local economies. Plus, limiting their ability to stay and work afterwards means potentially losing skilled graduates. People trained in the UK for sectors like, say, healthcare, engineering, tech, areas where we often have shortages.
Yeah, the brain drain idea.
Exactly. So it's not just an academic issue. It's an economic one with real consequences for institutions in the whole country.
So looking ahead then, taking that broader view, what can actually be done? How do we balance these policy aims with the clear benefits these students bring?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The sources really stress the need for ongoing conversation. You need policymakers, universities, industry leaders, and, crucially, student representatives all talking to each other regularly
Makes sense.
and constantly assessing the real impact, economically and socially, not just assuming. Things change fast globally, so the UK needs to be flexible, ready to adapt its policies to stay competitive, and, frankly, welcoming.
It's definitely a tricky balancing act. And those application numbers rising despite the tougher rules, that really does make you think, doesn't it? How does a nation square its immigration targets with the undeniable long-term value, economic, cultural, intellectual, that international students bring? Especially when the data throws curveballs like that 29% jump. Something to mull over. Well, thank you for joining us for this deep dive into your sources today. It's been really insightful. Until next time, stay informed and keep exploring. Goodbye for now.